Hello, my K through 5th grade peeps. I'm so glad to see you again. This is week 3, and it looks like there's going to be maybe 3 more weeks of this, so I hope you're not tired of my face on video. You may be a little tired, but too bad. So I'm here because I care about you, and I want to make sure that you are still getting your Bible learning in that you would get if you were here on a Sunday morning. So on our website, we've added 3 songs this week that you can sing. And if you want to, you can even do the preschool songs if you like. If you like to do music and dance around and all that kind of stuff. So that's been added. And also on there, there's a clip that says the big announcement. And you guys need to watch that because something fun is happening tonight at the church at 6:30. And to really make it happen, you need to get your whole family in the car. Let mom or dad drive because you're not old enough to drive yet, right? So let them drive, come to the church, and as soon as you get to the church, you're going to get something, and then boom, you're going to take off all over town for something really fun together. So I hope you guys are ready to do that tonight because it's going to be a blast. But the next 2 weeks, we're talking about Easter Sunday. So we're talking about Palm Sunday, which is this Sunday, and then next Sunday, is Easter Sunday. But they go together because Jesus, there was a big plan for him, and he had to do a lot of things before he even was crucified. But God had a huge plan for Jesus, and part of that plan was that he needed to go back to Jerusalem so that he could let everybody know what was going to happen, especially his followers, the disciples. They had no idea that he was going to have to die, and so he needed to go back to Jerusalem and let them know that, hey, I'm not going to be here much longer, and you guys are in charge and need to take off. So this is where our story starts. Jesus is heading into to Jerusalem, okay? So the first thing is that, he's going to enter the city. And now you got to remember, Jesus was very popular, so I'm sure that people were in the city saying, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming. And the thing was, his followers decided that he needed to come in on a donkey. So they took the donkey that they found and put Jesus on the donkey, and he rode into town on the donkey instead of walking. Well, when the people saw them, a crowd kind of happened, which would be me. I would be right there in the middle of the crowd. I might even push some people over, to get up front so I could see him up close and personal. But this crowd gathered because they heard that he was coming. So, and of course, they were coming because they had heard that Jesus was going to be this great and incredible and mighty king, because that's what they wanted. They wanted this really important leader to be king, and they thought it was going to be Jesus. So when he came in town on the donkey, when royalty came to town, which was kind of how they were treating him, they did 2 things. They would wave palm branches, which was a very big sign, a big thing to do to show that you were famous and they really respected you. And the other thing was that they laid their coats on the ground. Now they did this because even the donkey that he was riding on was considered to be important, and they didn't want that donkey to even have his feet touching the ground. So they got all that ready for him, okay? And then the deal is that one night that week after he'd been in town, he needed to get together to have a feast. And we call this feast the Last Supper. And this was the time when Jesus got together with his disciples. So he got together with his disciples and they had a meal. And the first thing Jesus did was he prayed and thanked God for the bread. And after he did that, he broke the bread and gave all the disciples a piece. Now, it's the Last Supper, and at the Last Supper, that's where Jesus told us about taking communion. So they broke bread, and that's why we have those little tiny pillows of bread that we take every Sunday. We do it because Jesus did it, and he said, do this to remember me. And the other thing that got blessed was the cup. Now, we don't have cups like this, do we? We've got little plastic cups, but they passed us around and drank out of it, and Jesus said, every time you do this, remember me. All right. So after the meal was over and they were all kind of laying around and talking to each other, Jesus got up from the table, and they're probably thinking, what is he doing? Well, Jesus got up and he wrapped a towel around his waist. Okay. So he put that towel around his waist. And then the next thing he did was he poured water into a bowl. What do you think he's going to do? No, he's not going to do the dishes, okay? No, he's not going to wash windows. He's going to do something back then that was really done by the slaves and the servants. He's going to do something that when you came to people's houses they did, because people didn't bathe very often. He was going to wash their stinky, dirty feet. And so he was going around doing that, and then he would dry their feet with the towel that was around his waist. And the funny thing was that Peter got upset. He said, Lord, no, you are not going to wash my feet. And Jesus said, Peter, I need to do this because I need to show you how much I love you. And when Peter heard that, he said, well, wash my feet, Lord, and then wash my head, my hands, my whole body. That's how, Peter was kind of out there sometimes and said some crazy things, but he wanted to let Jesus know that he was ready for anything that Jesus wanted to do. Now, I don't think you're going to get asked to wash anybody's feet these days because we have showers and bathtubs and we take care of our feet pretty well. But some of the things you can do, especially since you're at home a lot, is you need to listen to Mom. I even listen to my mom because my mom lives with me now since my dad died. But you need to listen to your mom. And you also need to listen to this guy, all right? You need to listen to your dad. And don't make him tell you 2 or 3 times to do something. You need to do it now. And when you do that, what are you doing? You're showing them how much you love them by obeying them, all right? Now, one of the things, hopefully one of these times, you're going to be online and your teacher's going to give you some homework or some instructions and you need to follow along and do that. Listen, you can't be in school right now, but you don't want mush for brains, okay? That's what I call it. If you don't use your brain, it doesn't get to work, and your brain needs to work because your brain is like a major computer. You need to put stuff in there and learn and put it away so that you can use it later. So listen to your teachers, okay? Now, one of these days, hopefully, you're going to get back to school, or maybe we're not, and you're going to have to go back in the fall. But when you get back to school, that's another place where we need to listen and learn. And when you do that, you're showing how much you appreciate your teachers and your principal and your PE teacher and your music people. You're doing that, okay? And even right now, it's going to be hard to show our friends we love them because we can't get near them. We have to stay away from them, but you can text and you can Facebook. And I know Garrett Hanna is sending me pictures every day and asking me what I've seen. So I'm guessing what he's drawn, which is kind of cool. And it's something you can do through Facebook, all right? So you can tell your friends. And the big deal about that is it makes them happy because you're saying, hey, I didn't forget you just because we can't see each other, but I still care about you and I want to make you happy. And it also makes God happy because just because we're cooped in the house doesn't mean we're allowed to show bad manners or be in a bad mood. We need to do things because God first loved us and he wants us to love other people. So that's about it for today's lesson, but there is a word search, and this is a tough one. Go online and you can print this off and do this after the lesson or in the car or before you go to bed, but it's a tough one, okay? But don't forget, I'll be coming by your houses this week with a special gift. Don't forget about the Easter egg hunt tonight at the church at 6:30. Be sure to check out the big announcement, okay? I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Let's meet Jesus, God's one and only Son. He came to earth to save us, each and every one. Jesus, our King, the very best indeed. One time he rode into the town, sitting on a donkey. Into Jerusalem for all to see. People cheered and celebrated, waving palm tree leaves, shouting Hosanna, for the King had come that day. It's Jesus from Nazareth of Galilee. He did amazing things, too many to count. Let's all sing it, dance and shout. He did amazing things, too many to count. Let's all sing it. Shout it out. Not long after that, Jesus was crucified. He gave himself up on a cross and then he died. But 3 days later, he rose from that grave. His tomb is empty and our sins he forgave. He is risen, He is alive. Our Savior, our friend, our King Jesus is A-OK. And now we celebrate Jesus, our risen King, who came to save us, and for this we sing. He did amazing things, too many to count. Let's all sing it, dance and shout. He did amazing things, too many to count. Let's all sing it, shout it out. He did amazing things, too many to count. Let's all sing it, dance and shout. He did amazing things, too many to count. Let's all sing it, shout it out.
This is love, this is life. Oh, oh, I'm a cartoon character. Look at me. Whoa, look at you. Reese, we're both cartoon characters.
Yeah, we are! This is how we're going to tell the story. Our story today is about Jesus and how he shows us his love for us.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see.
Whoa there, Greatest Showman. Can we get back to the story?
Yeah.
Jesus showed us his love by the way he treated the people who are around him, and also by the miracles he did while he was here on earth.
Let's just say Jesus was a pretty awesome guy.
Yeah, he was. Everything Jesus did got the people talking. They wondered if Jesus was the king God had promised to send to save them from the wrong things they had done.
So, was Jesus like Superman and just didn't realize he had special powers that God would use to save the world?
No, Jesus knew exactly why God had sent him to earth. He came to take the punishment for the wrong things we do and to give us life that would never end.
That's more powerful than anything Superman's got going on.
And the time had come for Jesus to do all that God had planned. He was on his way to the city of Jerusalem, and when Jesus got there, he rode in
On a motorcycle! Oh, and that motorcycle had sidecars for his disciples, and the sidecars had sidecars!
Not quite. Jesus rode in on a donkey. The people knew he had to be the king God had promised to send. So they waved palm branches and shouted, "Hosanna!"
Which means, save us.
A few nights later, Jesus and the disciples were eating a special meal together. Jesus knew this would be the last supper they would share before he went back to heaven.
His very last supper? I bet they ate something really fancy, like chicken nuggets with every type of dipping sauce.
Actually, Jesus kept it pretty simple. He thanked God for the bread, broke it up, and gave some to each of his disciples. Then, Jesus thanked God for the cup, and everyone ate and drank.
Wait, Jesus? The one who came to save everyone? Served his friends?
Sure did. That's another way he showed love. And get this, after dinner, he also washed everyone's feet.
That's kinda odd, isn't it?
Well, I guess the disciples weren't expecting it. That's usually a servant's dirty job.
That would be like Iron Man coming to wash my smelly socks. He's way too cool for that. I should be washing his socks.
Jesus explained to them how washing their feet was a way he could show them love.
That's some extravagant love.
Later that night, they all walked over to the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus spent some time praying by himself. As the night went on, things got really serious.
Oh man, is this when...
Yep,
And...
exactly. How about you tell them this next part?
Once Jesus was done praying, he was arrested by a group of guys that didn't like him. Like, at all.
These people didn't like that Jesus claimed to be God's son, and they definitely didn't think he should be king. They made a plan to have Jesus put to death.
Wait a second. Did Jesus do anything wrong?
Nothing.
This is not right!
I understand how you feel, but the people insisted on taking Jesus before Pilate.
Who put this guy in charge?
Even though he agreed Jesus had not done anything wrong, he sentenced Jesus to death on a cross.
Wait, what? Couldn't God save people from their sins some other way?
No, remember? God had a plan. He knew that we would do wrong things.
Oh yeah, like when I lie about brushing my teeth after Oreos. Yeah, sure, they're clean.
Because God hates sin, but loves us, he planned for Jesus to take all the punishment for the sins of all the people in the world.
Well, that's like so many people. Hundreds, thousands, millions.
That's why his death on the cross was so painful. It was definitely the biggest way that Jesus showed us love. He willingly gave up his life so that we could be forgiven by God.
It's the whole reason we have so much fun getting ready to celebrate Easter.
Aw, man! Next week can't get here fast enough.